Let me just say this. Do you ever think, I remember hearing somebody once say, oh, dreams, they're nonsense. And I thought, oh, that's my husband's iPad. Unfortunately, it's going to beep. I used to say to myself, well, do you say that about the functions of your body, the heart, your liver, all the things that are automatically working so perfectly within you? Do you actually believe that that same creativity that has created this way that we are, has decided that your dreams would just mean nothing? Of course, I didn't say anything to that, because it was someone I knew very well, and I wasn't about to make trouble for myself. Let's put it that way. So, I forgot to tell people that I'm here live, so I am here live. My name is Miriam Linderman, and I am a mentor, a life mentor, and a creativity and imagination mentor and coach as well. And I am checking to see, oh yes, everything is great. So, here's the thing. Dreams, fantasies all mean something. Now, we may not know what they mean, and we think we have to interpret them, but in fact, we really, really don't. Because here's the thing. I remember a friend who once, this was a long time ago, and she said, I'm having these thoughts about this man, and he's married, and it makes me feel bad and guilty. And I said to her, if you didn't judge that, but only took the meaning behind it, would that be a different experience for you? And the reality is that she was lonely, and this person had wonderful qualities. As a man, she would want somebody with his characteristics. And so I asked her questions about that. Because when we disown parts of ourselves, whatever they are, they can be the things we don't like, the things we do like, even the things we do like. How often do we give ourselves appreciation for that? I think I'm going to be changing my glasses so I can see the screen a little bit better. Thanks. It's like that important that whatever is coming from us means something. If we're having feelings, they mean something, right? They're not there for nothing. So here was this woman longing, and I said, pay attention to your heart and what it's desiring at this moment. It actually wants something that's important. It's important. And so when she came to see what a wonderful symbol it was, and how the soul, the inner space of that soul, the essence of who we are, speaks to us in many ways. It speaks to us in how we love what we love, and how we dislike what we dislike. It's fascinating to me, but in my youth and in my early adulthood, I used to love classical music, and I would listen to classical music night and day. And then there came a time where all of that intensity, the drama of the emotional, that emotional music was no longer okay. Now, you might say, well, what about some of Bach, some of the soothing sounds? Well, the only soothing sound that I can handle in my dear precious body is chanting. And that's just the way it is. And so I could make a big story about and judge it, but judging is not necessary. So back to the dreams and the fantasies that we have and the images that we get attracted to. In in the last Living from Our Souls workshop, or one of the first ones, I remember I asked everybody to choose some paintings from WikiArt and send them back to all of us, so that we couldn't do it online, but we could certainly do it. And so people would go to WikiArt, and you can try this yourself. You go to WikiArt and you go to the random, there's a selection that's random, and then you choose the artist that you love. And so I asked all these women to send those pictures so that we could all see. And the reason for that is just to see the beautiful diversity of what each of us loves, what each of us needs at this moment. So I might sometimes like a very colorful painting, wonderfully wild and beautiful, full of sparkling and rich primary colors. And then there may be a time when I just need quiet, soft pastels. And if we pay attention to that, like, it soothes us, and that soothing is healing, right? So we mostly do spin around in some kind of images or dreams. And what I did with my friend was that I said, well, what are the qualities that this man has? What do you admire and want in your life? And what are not for you? What are some qualities you do not want? So you get clear. And then I asked her, so what qualities are already in you that he has, that are yours, in fact? Because often we're going to look for people whose values are similar to our own. Sorry. And what qualities would you like more of in your own life? So that was important. And then when the figure in the dream is masculine, it is an invitation to ask ourselves whether we know them or not. And it's not about the person. So in dreams, although people show up as themselves, we can ask deeper questions, because we know that the masculine is action-oriented, discerning, discriminating. So how does that show up in her world? Or how does it not? Those are questions that we can mine just from a simple fantasy. That's all it was. It wasn't particularly a dream. It was, in her case, a fantasy. I used to have these dreams where I would lose my car, and I would park it. I would know where it was, and suddenly I would lose knowing where it was. Now, I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but it's one of those dreams that you cannot really enjoy because you're looking for the car. So later on, I heard, I went to a Jungian lecture, and I heard somebody say that the car is self. It's a symbol of my independence or authority or something of that nature. But it gave me a clue to ask myself a question, like, where am I lost in my life? What do I need to do to get clearer? So these are all opportunities. I want to invite you to, when you have a fantasy that goes on and on about, it could be a dream, it could be not a night dream, but a daydream, some kind of wish for yourself, and even in dreams. So I have 3 tips for you. 3. Number 1 is, without trying to analyze and create meaning, describe what this image or dream or fantasy stir up in you. What emotions arise? Now, the mind is always trying to figure it out. Oh, what does it mean? Oh, it's so weird. Or dreams are there to offer you information and guidance. Dreams are not there to scare the bejesus out of you. They may, but that's because something's going on that you need to look at. So, number one is, don't analyze. Don't try and figure it out. Just ask, what does it leave you with? What does it stir up in you? What emotions are there? And then you can ask yourself, so where in your current life do you feel this way? Where else do you feel this way? And then, what's the dilemma that wants resolution? What is the dilemma in the dream that wants resolution? I remember recently I had a dream where there was a woman and there was something about her that was a little prickly. Like physically she had the body of a woman, but something, I don't remember if it was a beak, but there was something about her that you just have to be a little careful if you came close to her. She looked human, but there was something there. And it was really fascinating to me because when I asked myself what emotions, like I had a little bit of concern and fear for her, like for me about her. She happened to be the wife of someone that I love, so there wasn't danger. And then I asked myself, so what is this reminding me? And I know that recently I've been talking to people about the parts in me that are a little too sharp, where I am not as gentle as I would like to be. Now, sometimes, tough love is tough love. There's nothing terribly wrong with that. But when you're a little edgier than you need to be, or sharper than you need to be. And that was a really great way for me to see inside me what was going on. And what's the dilemma that wants resolution? Well, either I need to, part of it is just get peace with the part that is not always in a loving space or has things on her mind, and just own that. Because if we push those parts away, they're not going to love us. They will not love us. And then we have two problems. One is of judging ourselves as bad for being a little edgy sometimes, and then just the not loving ourselves. And then we make up stories about how we're not good, we're not enough, we're this, we're that. Like all of that is a really bad habit. So that's what I wanted to tell you today. I invite you to look at all of the things that you want for yourself and ask yourself, like you want to write a book? Ask yourself, what would that do for you, for others? How would it feel? Ask questions, get curious, come closer to yourself. That's the work that I do. In the end, it's about finding the love within for ourselves, but getting closer and owning all of those parts. Yes. So I thought to myself, I could do, you remember yesterday? So there are these cards. You can, I've said my thing. For the replay viewers, welcome. And if you are interested in re-enchanting your life, then come and join me for the 6 Mondays and let's play together. I have a whole bunch of fun things that we can do together to get you closer to the essence of who you are, so that you can have the freedom to play from there. Now, here's what I want to tell you. And I'll leave some information. It's all over my page. So here is the Mythos cards. And they're just, that's interesting. They are cards that have images on them. And then you make up a story. But yesterday, here's what I did, which I really liked. I said, okay, the card I pull, what does it have to do with my subject? And I think I'm just going to leave it at this one because I certainly didn't prepare. And when I look at this card, it's like hieroglyphics, right? It looks like ancient art on the wall of a cave, right? Well, here's how I would connect this. We've been dreaming forever, and you and I both know that native cultures always encourage people to talk about their dreams and talk about their lives and talk about what's inside. And we have so cut ourselves off in our desire to conform and be part of the material world. We have sometimes forgotten some of the wonderful pathways to the inner world and to who we really are. I am going to put this as close as I can to you. And I don't know how the camera gets to focus now. Oh, there you go. Wow, nice. So forever we have been telling stories of our wonderful dreams and fantasies and hopes and dreams and desires. If you want to do something, it's a call. It's a call. I'd love to see you and play with you. If you've never played on Zoom, we get to see each other's faces just like this. And I teach you a tool, and then you get to practice the tool quietly by yourselves. And then we come back and talk about what we discovered. Coming home to yourself is the biggest gift you can give yourself. Okay, I think I have gone way past my intended. I like doing short videos because I think people will stay longer. But this was a juicy one, and I was inspired. All right, thanks for coming here. Mwah.